from season 1 to season 2 and season 2 to season 3. The only thing consistent is that they find themselves in the grand finals all the time. But this may not be a series that is determined by Omit Brooklyn versus Omit Gaming. This may be a series that has Omit Brooklyn versus Challengers history. The only team now still left remaining that could possibly go back to back to back for Challengers Elite Championships, and they're going to have 7 maps to try to do that.
Yeah, Craze is looking for the 3-peat. And you can only imagine what Mercules is feeling. His first ever time this season competing. Found success in the Elite early on with the Stallions. Now he's in the grand finals here of Elite Stage 3. And already off to a great start is Craze. He's able to line up 3 with an extra AR. Puts down that pressure over towards B Street. So Brooklyn already soaking up a lot of this speed one time. I couldn't even get my words out right because he killed everybody so damn quick. Perfect start there for Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's absolutely flawless. 20+ seconds already on P1. Bounce back looking pretty decent in terms of how Omit are able to kind of crack back in and still put themselves in a position to hold on to a setup that would look good for a P2. This comes down to can they hold it. Standy looking for timing on a bit of a flank route. Prolit has opened things up, and a good read here. We'll see Exceed drop, but Craze, yeah, he's going to open up some space to work on over towards the P2 side of the map as we start to transition.
Yeah, it's big plays there from Craze, realizing, okay, we're not going to just send it over through Heli. Let me hit a route. Eventually find an opening, and that opening works out to perfection because now Omit are trapped in towards the backside of tower. You get a little bit too aggressive to gift them a freebie on their opening. And now here comes Stanley on the pinch. This should lead to a break for Omit.
Yeah, at least for now. Lins over the top makes this more safe. The only one left remaining would be Craze, and the snap up top is decent, but not enough to secure the kill. At range, though, Omit Brooklyn do find his trade, so the hard point goes open and neutral. Really good stuff here for Omit Brooklyn. Again, just trying to find success breaking from the front. The follow-up kills are in. Lynn's able to get, again, recontest over through Spiral side, but it's not enough to flip the hard point around.
Yeah, not at all. Now if you're Omit, you want to cut your losses, start thinking about new, but they're just going to flank everyone on the backside of tower, and you're running right into the preem of Mercules. He's able to line up a double. Craze finds the third. So they're going to soak up this final 10 seconds, and now Omit forced to cut their losses and think about that rotation over towards new. But Brooklyn are already going to be here. They know exactly where you're going to come from. You still got players creating extra layers upon the rest of the map. And Craze is just doing crazy things. He just tries to play with his food there, but at least guarantees the first kill.
Yeah, he was going to get traded out probably regardless, but the fact that he still gets the 1 is fine. Exceed through sidewalk shut down, and here comes a play through Spiral, while simultaneously the hit from the front starts to develop. Really good break here for Omit. Spawns will also move with that. Mercules up and over Lins. Now has a chance to get a little bit of influence around the back. Pistol out. Rest of his teammates starting to flood in from the front. Spawns are out for Omit. This comes down to can these last couple of members hang and stand tall around the hill? So far, the answer is a very convincing no, as Mercules continues on this 5 spree with help from Craze catching a double.
Yeah, his teammates are just keeping him alive every single time he gets a chance. Craze again on 3 in a row. 14-5 start. Now you're early off the rotation. You're going to have the numbers as well. Last player to try to contest it is Standy, and Craze is off to an unbelievable start. Like, I don't know if it gets any better than this. Every situation that he finds himself in, it's working. Every pinch that he's hitting, it is working. Everything right now for Craze is going correct. And now Omit Brooklyn, with the rotation over towards the money hill, can blow this game wide open.
Set up trying to get stuns and nades in, but the trophy denies all of it. So now you just got to run for the front door, and that's what happens. About to say, this is either going to be a barn burner of a break or an absolute meltdown. And we got the latter of the two. Prolut now extending the play to move spawns around. And the system continues to look unbelievably good for Omit Brooklyn. Up now 100 points, still 28 to fight for on P4. Craze gets spun around. Prolut coming back to the play. Able to find one that stun should land. Can't make use of it, at least not initially. But Standy just over aggressive chows and falls. And maybe a chance here for one more kind of finesse hit for Omit Brooklyn trying to play for scrap.
Yeah, because now Crazy is going to set up this pinch through Spiral. You're not going to be able to read this unless you're able to spot him on the cross. And he's only able to find the first. Brack able to regen a little bit of that HP to give him a better chance in that fight. But what a start from Brooklyn. We're talking about dominating in the rotation aspect. Obviously, you're slaying the bits if you are Craze. But you have been in control of this map from start to finish. Omit, you have to start to come alive. And I'm looking at Spar, who's 4-11, who's usually never the guy to put up a stat line like that.
Yeah. Not looking good, especially considering what Omit had just looked like in their previous series. Roll it on 3 in a row. Yeah, that's true. This is a different beast. There's your square ups, and then there's your David versus Goliath. And at the moment, this definitely feels like something biblical. Exceed over the top to watch the cross. That's really well put together. And a game that, honestly, like that last 20 seconds on ult at P4 was not bad for Omit, but it's immediately counteracted and then hit even harder with this setup around P1. A couple of kills still coming through. Maybe a chance here for Omit to get the exit kill, but another follow-up gunfight comes out, and now we got a battle for P2.
And you can already see Craze is hitting a route through P2. Unfortunately, gets caught by standing at bottom comm. So, Omit in the right position that they want to be in. Trap them towards the backside of tower. Find the opening kill, but you can already see the kill feed lighting up blue. And Exceed also gets the information onto the playmaker in Standy. So he's forced to back down. Spawn's starting to get a little mixy because Prolu hits a route to take control of top 3. He's in a power spot to keep him off for now, but he wants to make an opening for his teammates to approach out.
Yeah. 100-point game still. And these 2 eliminations from Hercules.
Oh, man.
It's going to allow an easy follow-up, you would think, for Omit Brooklyn, just based on their ability to out-trade. And yeah, Craze just holds down the trigger, finds the kill. Spawns will move just a touch, 25 seconds of scrap time to fight for, but Hercules is shooting. Able to shut down the play up top, giving Craze, again, the freedom just to play his own life in what will be like a 1v1 simulator right here through the front doors at tower. And yeah, just a couple of tags, a couple of backups, just knowing that he's denying the ability for a fight to come out, and this game is pretty much over.
Yeah, this is a smoke show. Like, if you're Omit, you have to just hit the reset and hit it hard because Protocol has been very, very good to Brooklyn all of this elite stage. Doesn't matter what the roster is looking like. And I just want to take the time out to not even talk about Craze, to talk about Hercules, man. Like, we saw this guy initially start off his season with that Stallions roster, very, very young, all getting their first chance. Besides him, he was actually in year 2. But just the evolution of his gameplay. You can see how much more confident he is in both weapons, how much better he's playing his positions, and just the way that he is controlling the map with that AR has been unbelievable. You can still close out the game here at P3. Basically, the last push coming in from Omit.
Yeah, it is one of those situations where you're absolutely right. Like, we talked about that Stallions roster and how blown away we were at the beginning of the year because it just was unheard of that essentially 4 rookies would come into a debut team playing all together and be able to go perfect in their initial group stage and Challengers Elite. But again, as a part of this system,
oh my God,
everyone just gets so much freedom to play their own game. And it could be, you could put it in the Louvre. It's absolute artistry right now from Omit Brooklyn as they dominate and put Omit in the 100-point club in the first match.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just like, Omit, we got to spawn in, bro. Like, we got to be able to get a trade. You were able to outclass Rory Spartans in their HP game because they didn't really have the fundamentals in play. But this squad has always thought about the easiest way to win the game. And when they have such a hot start the way that they do, Craze pulls up an extra AR, pops in opening 3. You can already tell, like, they've been warming up. They were going to get caught off guard in this series versus Omit, who already played a series today. They're thinking about that 3-peat. And the closer they get with the maps like that, this is going to look real easy.
Yeah, man. Wow. 24-9, 23-14. Non-traded abilities. The damage is, again,
the damage is the most important because no one is going crazy. It's not like someone's at 3,500, 4K. Yeah. No, everyone's around the same thing. That means the teamwork is there. Rotations are there. Everything is just clicking for Brooklyn, and Omit had no answer for it.
Plus, you got assists 5, 6, 7, 8 for Omit Brooklyn. It's just, again, everyone has a role to fill, and I think the incredible thing about it, and you know what needs to, I think maybe I would love to get an inside look on, is like how does this work? Because you're dealing with, you know, initially this season, Craze and Rex together. You can understand like building a system off of them, you know, Rex on the AR category, Craze on the SMG category. But the fact that Exceed fits into the mold as a flex player so quickly, and now you have a last second addition into Pro Loot with maybe a couple of days at most worth of practice, the fact that he just gets plugged in and finds as much individual success as he does, and it doesn't factor or hinder or impact the other 3 at all, is legitimately something that I would love to just get the inside information on. Like, how do they create that much of a co-eccentric team dynamic that you can put anyone in place that has good individual skill, and they're able to not modify or change what is already a successful formula? It's crazy.
Yep. It takes some time, obviously, to develop it the way that you want to, but it also takes a phenomenal staff. Like, it has to be a big shout out to everyone working over there at Omit, because everything that they put together, you can just tell it's working regardless of whoever is going to be on the lineup. They have a really good coaching staff, a really good numbers analytical guy. Obviously, ownership is unbelievable. The guy is winning regardless of whoever wins this series because they're both representing Omit, but it's just like what Brooklyn have been able to do, man. It's realistically like not even like seizable for a bunch of these teams because you just don't expect to have this much success when your roster is changing basically week to week. It's just unreal, unheard of, and they continue to shine and show through.
Crazy scenes, my friend. And again, it's like the wide like gap in like those four names on paper. You've got players like Exceed and Pro that have been in and out of the league more times than one can count. Craze, who hasn't been there but has showed a lot of promise after his debut last year. And now Mercules, who's in his debut this year and has not missed out on a Challengers Elite stage, let alone a playoff portion of that stage. Let alone an opportunity to play for a grand finals. It's just, it's crazy. The amount of stories that are here, it really is crazy. And it does make you feel a certain type of way that, you know, I will put it, I'll just say it right now. This Submit Brooklyn team, I don't even care what the roster looks like. They're not just going to qualify for EWC. They're going to make it to an EWC playoff.
Okay. All right. I like that take. I like it. It just depends on what the roster will look like because they might not even have a roster because all their players might end up on CDL lineups by that point.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it truly does not matter. But it's just crazy to think, right? Because Exceed, like 3-4 weeks ago, after Major 2, was about to quit. He was about to retire.
Yeah,
you know? And like now he finds himself on this lineup, and he's probably playing the best form that he's ever played with. Same thing could be said for Craze, who's got consistent with this lineup ever since the beginning. But now I think like he's in that final form. And now the same thing could be said for Mercules. It's like everyone who joins into this organization, you could just hit a whole new level as an individual player. And the way you do that is by being a better team player. And it just shows on every single one of their gameplays. So if you are Omit on the other side and not Brooklyn, you better wake up and wake up quick. Because you lose this dealership S&D, you're really feeling the pressure.
Here we go. Search and destroy. Coming through on the dealership, and the initial look has Lens for first blood, just kind of punishing Craze for a little bit too much aggression through mid. The idea was decent, but the execution obviously punished, and with Proloot dropping, you're going to get a free B take here.
Yeah, and I just remember what Craze told me every time they play this map, we do the complete opposites, and at least for now, it sort of can still work out, because Mercules is in a 1v2, has the information. They're going to be at this B-bomb site, but not gaining anything over multiple different angles of approach.
Oh, but they're going to... This is enough to actually push Omit back to the A site, and Merc can just hang out at A, or pardon me, at mid now, and rotate quickly to A if he wants to. The question will be, can he get a good enough look at B to know that this is likely a rotation? He very well may have just gotten the exact right timing. Gets a read, backs away. 30 seconds on the clock. And if he can, wow, if he can get into position to watch this cross from on top of the Lambo, he has a chance at this. First shots are good. Knows the cars could still be exploded, so you don't want to give away this 1v1 off that. Backs up. It'll be Spart to get the plant for the 1v1.
Oh, and he's able to spot him on the exit. Has him a little bit weak, but Spart with the better positioning. Force him to reposition. Now 35 seconds to count. Spart's going to take some space, but Mercules is able to catch him. A 2v4 from Brooklyn to open out the gates. Exceed on the flank starts it all off. Omit, they had all the map control, but decide to hit the rotation. And Mercules is able to put himself in the proper position to keep the momentum on Brooklyn's side. And that is just unacceptable. This flank was everything. Like, how was nobody watching the pitch?
Yeah, it's on the same side. The mistake for Omit is one part of it, but for Brooklyn, it's knowing what you have to do in a 2v4. You have to make a play like that. There's no other way you win it. You're not going to play a 2v4 retake. You have to try to create something. And the fact that Exceed gets his too, and then Mercules catches the information on the rotation from B to A is everything. So now it's a 1-0 count for Brooklyn. Exceed gets a good look over the top of the B side, and that's enough for him to say, if they're playing in this position, we really can't chow this, but nade out. Proloot does not land. Craze still tucked as they're... Again, you've got a deep scale here, and that win for Mercules is, again, another one that you just don't hedge your bets on.
Yeah, that is a massive win right there for Mercules, because this entire time Blaze going down at A, and Craze has already finds himself in towards mid office. So how does he decide to play this? He's going to go for the pinch through B, win the one-on-one versus Standy. Now you got the man advantage. Let's just back up and play our numbers.
And this is going to force Omit to have to hit because you have to be worried about that pinch the entire time. And they're not. This is taking too long. Here comes the double swing in from the front. And Exceed, yeah, he's going to find the first part, seen out long. Easy follow-up. Wow. It's so perfect. It's so perfect.
The crazy thing is, it shouldn't have been that perfect. If you're bracket, you find that opening kill, there's no reason to commit on the second. But he gives that one-on-one. Mercules makes him pay for it. And then the entire time that they are already showing a lot of presence over towards Courtyard, they're realizing, all right, there's nobody over towards A. So let's just rotate it on that side. Craze has office. We get this bomb planted. We stand a pretty good chance. As long as Craze sets up that pinch to perfection. Once he secures that one-on-one, you have the numbers. Just got to back up and stack. They've been hold strong on their post plan. So Omit, they were having some really good early round success. Haven't found any success in the later half.
No, and Prolu just jumping to see if he can catch any information on this mid-cross. Members nearby to deal with it. And Craze, once again, deeper than you would expect. First blood good, but Prolu does get traded. Follow-up from Craze. Timing on this pinch is everything as he finds another. Bomb carrier still alive, though, and Omit will be able to reset to the 2v3.
Yeah, it's a 3v2, so you can give up the bomb plant. Just play for some information. Don't commit on a gunfight. And Exceed is able to get info on both. Now you're just trying to get out before getting picked, and Linz is able to locate him. So now the man advantage is for nothing. 2v2. 45 seconds still to work with. Craze on the complete opposite side of Mercules. It's looking like the bomb is just going to slowly work its way up the middle of the map.
The problem is Omit have no idea where Craze is at again. So you can see how nervous Standy is about how he rotates, and they're going to have to go back to spawn and put the entire map in front of them. Check all their corners because you know Craze has been good to pop himself into a position that you just don't expect. With 22 seconds remaining, Mercules hasn't seen anything, and now here comes the call for the defense to rotate again.
Yeah, and Craze might catch good timing here. The stun is going to at least give the information. You're able to spot Linz, know the plays on this side, and now you have him weak.
Craze over to the top. My feet is completely frozen.
Okay, well, Mercules in a one-on-one. 34 seconds left to go. Gonna back down Linz from this position. And he still thinks it's potentially another guy alive. No, it's a 1v1, buddy. Take the reset, and then you're able to peek. Catches the timing on to Linz. He's thinking, all right, it's been way too quiet. He's potentially going to be on the defuse, but just backs on up, plays the shack, and is able to secure the round there. I don't know why Mercules thought that someone was still potentially on that bomb site. But once he realizes it's a 1v1, take my time, let him run into me. Brooklyn quickly up 3-0.
Yeah, apologies for that, friends. I don't know, for some reason, the VMix just stuttered and then froze on me, so I didn't get to see the play. But thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. 5-0 for Mercules.
Come on.
And it's just another one, like the first two rounds, like 2v4, 2v3, both come through for Omit Brooklyn. This time, First Blood comes out, and it's, again, a quick, successive round that follows. And now you've got an RC at the ready for Mercules, and he's digging closer to potentially a Hellstorm. But we know what the RC can create in terms of a domino effect of explosions. Prolu does get hit by a stun. I believe he does see Standy on that quick cross through. Isolates the 1v1, and Prolu wins it.
Yeah, it's a massive First Blood, and you already have Courtyard control, so you're going to push it out, get aggressive if you are Craze, and find the kill. So instant 4v2. You know that Omit are roaming around that middle of the map. Basically a GG on the round when you found success that early into it. Prolute eventually strikes. Prolute, the new guy on the block, is able to line up 3 after opening up with the First Blood. And Brooklyn currently can do no wrong.
That's a frustration call right there for Omit. I mean, you get the stun that lands on a Prolute, but instead of waiting for up to try to isolate through mid, Standy just runs forward trying to force the 1v1. Prolute shakes off the stun, gets the kill. And in that moment, then all of a sudden, with knowing you've got mid-map at least somewhat contested, Craze runs up to that front tin shack, sees shots from his AR, pops up, finds another, and then there's just no map to work with after that if you're Omit. So 4-0 start. Mercules still holding onto an RC, has a trophy to kind of keep himself safe in the backside of A, and you can see Craze also playing over towards Vent already, just in another position to where he can just watch this cross and be the sole defender on this A site.
Yep, because they threw a lot of the attacks invested over towards this A site. Nothing's able to connect, so they already have a read that the play's going to be at B, and a team kill does not help the situation. Now it's Spart, left in a 1v3. Bomb's going to be down. Going to be put himself in a position to potentially find an isolation kill, but there's just too many players. still alive on the side of Brooklyn. 5-0. Game point.
Jay, I mean, it's a certain point where, like, we don't even need that final nade to come out if you're a mid. You already have the site. You're already out for a plant. Like, throwing another nade into that window doesn't really do much. You already have ARs looking at it. So I just don't even know why you even bother trying to throw that nade in the first place, but I guess you're feeling the pressure of that mid defense, and you're trying to just give a little bit more space to your teammate, but the nade doesn't get through the window. This wasn't just cooked a little bit too long. I don't know, man. That's just a huge mistake that we can't have, and now it's game point, like you mentioned, 5-0 up.
Yeah, it might be over with. Like, Omit, nothing's going right for them. Team days, thinking on your bomb carrier. We're not winning a lot of the battles for the first bloods. Our routes aren't working. And truly has been a success story for this Omit squad. It's like their SMG set the tone.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get anything going so far, and Craze miraculously puts himself in a great position, and the bomb is uncontested. Planet A already.
I think he just got through vent right there.
Yep.
So now he can, again, play off the pinch. Mercury's going to go the long route. Prolo just going to create noise from the front. Here's the check. Trade out. And now, again, the flank is under threat. And if you're a mid, you have to push forward. You have to take away this side of the map. But can they? Exceeds. Isolates. Finds one. Gives information to his teammates that the other two have pushed through the A site. So you could play this like a normal defense if you're a mid Brooklyn. Here's the check from Prolude. Sees one at range. Clean shot to the first. Over the top. He gets the second in a mid Brooklyn. 6-0. Stomp. Their sister team in a mid. And this is anything but a contest after a 250-71 and a 6-0 surge.
Yeah, nah, this is a whooping, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If you're Omid, you gotta get up out of here. You need a little break or something. You need to reestablish our game plan, because this is not the same squad that we just saw in that last series. You're playing against the big dog in Omid Brooklyn, especially in these elites. Regardless of who is on the lineup, they're gonna put it together really well. But you start off the game by losing a 4v2. That's unacceptable.
And a 2v3.
Like, that's just terrible. Like, nothing is going right for them. You're team nading. We're not playing our trading situations correctly. We're not taking the space that they're giving us. It's looking real slim right now for Omit. But Brooklyn, they look real good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about as good as you can get. I mean, this is the most dominant affair that we've had all year, calendar year in Challengers. That includes teams that had Neptune on it in the past. Like this Omit Brooklyn team just looks so polished. Hard to say what you even talk about, because like you said, the 2v4 to start in round number 1. Good kind of proactive play from Exceed. Mercury's following up. And then the very next round, it's a 2v3 or a 3v4, pardon me, that still comes through near flawlessly for a bit after the first blood is dropped. And then from there, I think it's mostly just first blood wins every single round afterwards, and that they just don't lose. So it's as good as it gets, friends. I don't know what else we could say besides this is this is about as perfect of a COD game as you could watch from one team or another.
Yeah.
Whoops.
No better than this. And if I'm back there in that situation, like, if I'm not throwing a dead nade in there, I'm not throwing that nade at all. Because if it has a chance to blow up my teammate on the site, wasn't even weak, at least I don't believe. But if he was a little bit, then that's just a misplay there. And now Omit forced to climb an uphill battle. You get through the 2 maps that you really didn't find yourself playing a lot throughout this elite. Now you're going to go into a vault control where they've had a lot of great moments. You saw it literally in their last series of how they're consistently always paying trades. But Omit Brooklyn on this map as well are unbelievable. Like, their ARs continue to win gunfights through the front. Their SMGs continue to get lost. And if you just allow them to continue to dictate this game the way that they do, you're not going to win a map here. We might see the same exact results that we saw on the EU side earlier on today here on the NA side, and I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, again, I think the big story point here, though, is that Omit, sans Brooklyn, really good at playing vault control from the offensive side. The same thing is the case, though, for Omit Brooklyn. Like, it's just, this map for these Omit teams has been so good for them. Both for control, and that also kind of echoes into what we may have for the hard point. So it obviously feels like for Omit, you have to come in, you have to win this control, reset that tempo, get yourself another map win, get this thing to a 2-2 count as fast as humanly possible if you want to try to find a way back in. But if Omit Brooklyn win map number 3 and they dominate like they have done so through the first 2, it is over with at that point. Because there's just no way you regain. You're sitting there thinking, like, how do we change our entire game plan if we're going to have a chance to fight up against these guys? And you don't want to do that in the middle of the best of 7.
Bro, they're not even competing right now, Alan. Like, 250 to 71, that's a rank play game. 6-0 and Search and Destroy, that is a pub game. Like, you are not looking like the players that you just were all throughout this elite, and even in that last series that you just played to put yourself in this position. Just got to hit the reset, man. Got to take a deep breath and realize, okay, we deserve to be in this spot. We put ourselves in the right scenarios to make it to the Grand Infernos versus our Omit Brothers squad. But it's just like, we want to make this worth it. We don't want to put ourselves in a position and do absolutely nothing with it, because then it makes no sense. Like, you need to show why you got here and show the reasons why you're still going to compete in this series, because right now they literally have nothing. They're just rolling over and dying right now.
They really, yeah, it's absolutely right. Well, we're going to load on in, see if Omit can find a lifeline, find anything at this point. Always we're told we're loading in, but we're still here. We're hanging out. Could still be just getting through the cinematics of it all. I don't know, man. It does feel like there's a big difference. And I think the biggest thing and like why I'm so lost for words is the simple fact that like you just don't expect this from a team that just made a change 2 days ago.
I don't know.
They're doing this, my guy. It's just...
I know honeymoon stage be hitting different sometimes, but this is a different level of honeymoon stage. Like, Prolo just walks to the building. Hey, guys, where we at? Oh, Grand Finals? All right, cool. I'll just spawn in for a couple matches to get it done for us, but Omit now looking for the response. Just need to have a good break off to this game. Lin's effective on the first pro loot on the trade. They'll keep it a mixy around this middle map area, but again, the breaker on the pinch, not able to get anything, so good moment there for Omit.
Yeah, Standy following up off of a stun will take down 2, leaving it just down to 1, and Exceed can't find anything. So now we're going to get the heavy stack here for a bit. Extra 60 should be pretty much a guarantee, as the defense is going to chalk this one and set up their rotation over to B Street to get themselves in control to possibly hit pinches and, again, just make the map a bit of a mess here with 2:14 on the clock for Omit to work their offense.
Yeah, just going to play some exit kills now if you are Brooklyn. He's just trying to get lost behind enemy lines, only able to find one. There's a lot of SMGs currently on the map for Omit, but Spart wants a big one-on-one gunfight. Now Standy has the information onto the player towards Art of Palm, so that's already 3 dead. The only one we haven't accounted for is the guy over towards Art, so now it's on Standy. Can we get this kill towards Ammo? He unfortunately does not find it. And with that kill, it should allow Omit an easy re-break.
Yeah. Well, the 2 offensive members still alive, back up through vault stairs and hop up in towards the previously captured A zone. Good follow-up from Craze. Jumps into the play and gets the 2 that were already weak. Hercules caught trying to dance between weapons. But the follow-up for the defense will be in a good position of control. We'll kind of reset and get back to that, you know, proverbial line of scrimmage being set right at the front doors at A for these 2 teams to fight through.
Yeah, they have brought it back in the lives remaining. Only down by 2. Make it 3 with Prolo losing that one-on-one, but now Craze in a position to make up for it. Doesn't choose the right direction. Get a couple freebies over towards Top Cat. He's thinking about the better play. Let me just put myself in towards Ammo. Secure this spawn. Spawn them all the way across the map. Pepper a couple guys to have him weak and force them to waste a lot more time to work that OE.
Well, Craze caught on the tack sprint. Shut down 18v15. Numbers to the offensive Omit. Long-range battle underway for Mercules and gang as the stuns nades start to make their way forward. And so does Standy with that. Brack trying to get through on the pinch. Craze kept his focus between 2 different spots. At least they stopped the progress from happening over towards B. And they've got Proloot on the long route over through the pinch. But he's going to have to make a play quickly. And wow, the timing of his route may work out to extend his life. He even finds a kill behind that. And he's still avoiding the trade. Secondary chance not going to come through. And the second tick of progress is going to be contested and cleared a bit with Exceed stepping on the zone.
Yeah, now 40 seconds to go. Almost gets caught with a nade in his hand, but that player's one shot. Let's find this kill. That's already 3, make it all 4 dead. Craze is still roaming in their spawn. We have some ammo present, so they're all over the water side, but Craze loses that one-on-one. Now, if you're Omit, you found that opening kill. You can apply pressure through the front side, but time is ticking.
Yeah, Mercules doesn't get the timing of his check over through the front doors at A, so instead makes his play over towards B Street. It's shut down. Here comes the last-ditch effort to try to jump onto the point. 9v9. Dandy trying to clear out vault stairs. Not going to be successful as Exceed holds his ground and finds a secondary elimination. Now onto Brack, trying to dive into the point. Shots over the top onto Linz are good from Mercules, and Exceed will shut things down from this pinch. Proloot as well, cutting through the middle of the map. In an 8v5, the kills are just not good enough for Omit to get back to this point. So it will hold with just 4 total ticks accrued for Omit as Brooklyn will get the first round defense.
Yeah, and even though Proloot only finds 6 kills on that round and also 6 deaths, he had himself like some clutch moments over towards Ammo. Like if he doesn't win that one-on-one, finesse, and then eventually lose that second gunfight, that doesn't allow his teammates to take the positions that they had. Like we had Volt Control. We already have Art. No one's working in a pinch over towards line. We have all the power spots we want to hold down for one more final push because Proloot gave us an opportunity and he was just finessing as long as he did over towards Ammo. But that is the difference because when you were playing against the Spartans on the side of Omit, they would break down on that defense.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, on the other hand, though, to say, okay, you can have A, we'll play the exit kills, we'll make sure we'll make up for it by taking the map control away from you. And they only allow 4 segments to get away from them with their first round going their way.
Now, we have seen for Omit, defensively, they have been dominant. Saw it most recently versus the Royal Spartans. But for Brooklyn, just like, again, their brother team here in Omit, they have been very good offensively. And the patience coming through, they're going to be able to get 2 eliminations, while Omit was feeling maybe a little bit of pressure to have to challenge the point. And in that moment, you're on for the first tick of progress, maybe more, as the pinch will be red. Exceed, dancing off the reload, has help. Shutdowns come through. Craze on the long pinch, deciding he wants to come back and help the A zone. Good hip fire, set into a centering. Also has bracket range. The pistol, good damage. And again, just not over challenge, not over forcing the battle. Gets the win, and now the second tick looks likely.
Yeah, it's just not necessary. Actually, the third tick might look likely as well, because the last push here for Omit, they're only going to have 2 players on the point, but effective trades from Brooklyn allow them to stabilize through the middle of the map. And now Prolude's starting to get activated. Unfortunately, does get shot in the back, but he should instantly get traded. Everyone's now accounted for. You already have Vault presence, and if you are Omit, iron up, get a kill, because this is a scary moment to be in. It
really is, and they're not finding a single kill. Mercules playing through Lion. Gonna get a read that he's getting challenged and just gets out of there. Beautiful. Just killing so much time, man. They're so annoying. And now Craze over through Art, shut down by Spart. Pinch possibly on the way through, but Standy does fall. So first tick in, second tick on the way. Stuns and nades start to land as the trophy systems have not been thrown yet for Exceed. He's just trying to keep the irons up. And that will be enough for Omit's defense to get back on the point and deplete mostly, if not all, of the second tick.
And now if you're Craze, how long can you finesse over towards Palace? Not able to find anything, but you draw the attention for at least 1 player. Now Standy's out of the position while your teammates already are showing presence through the front side. Now everyone else is off the respawn. Let's get a little bit of a stack going. Get your ARs in those power spots.
Yeah, indeed. 19v10. Minute 23 on the clock. It is extremely annoying. You just can't keep your focus on any one position if you're amidst defense right now. Standing on the pinch, good creation. We'll find 2. That clears out the point and leaves Craze by himself, trying to work some magic on the P4 side of the map.
Yeah, it's so annoying that he makes plays like this, but then in that situation where his teammates are thinking, okay, he should have the cross. No way in hell they should wake it through the middle of the map. Standy's able to find the opening and find that double to shut down that push. Now you still have Craze roaming over towards Palace. His teammates trying to fight out of their base. 8v15 with a minute left to work with. This is wasting a lot of time, but thankfully kills are going down, and Exceed already finds himself in Art.
Oh, and that win right there on the bracket is everything, because the last player left alive is Linz, and he's stuck at Palms.
AJ.
Yep, should be. 15v4. On for the progress. The spawns have been moved all the way backside P4. Spark does get 2, but the trade is there, and that will be the offensive round to Omit Brooklyn. 2-0 up. Wow.
Dude. I don't even know why we're here, Alan. Like, these
neither.
guys could have did this offline. Like, you could have just threw up the stream if you're going to give them a whooping like this. Because, like, this is just not fun. This is a beat down. Omit cannot get anything going. Brooklyn is 2-stepping all over them with some Tims on. And they cannot figure out how to stop them. Down 2-0 in the series. Down 2-0 in the control. They just completed every single segment there. So you're already down 2 segments going into this attacking round.
Yeah.
And still, you were just getting outslayed to bits, man. Outslayed. You got to find your kills.
15-8, 15-11, 14-11. The top 3 KDs for Omit Brooklyn.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Let's go next map, bro.
Yeah,
Let's go
for real.
next map, bro.
Oh, my God. Just, again, everything's hitting. Everything's snapping right now for Omit Brooklyn. Cannot do anything wrong. And this is going to be one of the most dominant displays of a Challengers Elite Championship, maybe in the history of Challengers Elite. The fact that they go perfect in the group stage, they destroy everybody in the bracket, and now they're looking to go 3-0 up in the grand finals with a member that just got added a couple of days ago.
It's crazy. And look, he's just fitting into the system like, don't worry, guys, I've been here before. I'll run a 3rd or 4th SMG if you need me to. I'll get your multi-kill after multi-kill. And now, with only 45 seconds left, Omit at least contesting around this mid-map area, but stuns are connecting. Players are already weak. Trades are starting to go down, and Craze is still into the mix. Now it's all down to 1 player still fighting for his life through the middle of the map, but Omit need this 8 point.
I had to do a double take for a moment, and I'm just gonna speak to the other side of the picture here. Well, never mind. I was about to say, like, Omit,
my God.
even after the convincing breakoff, they were only down 3 lives, but now they're fully wiped. And that second tick out A is almost taunting you with how close it got to being captured. And you know for a fact you can't just dive into A because you don't have any map control. Exceed will see one on the cross. Should be isolated here, but Sandy does take down 2. Or another. And this isn't over yet, because now, again, that point that I was trying to make is, like, I don't know how, but Omit are only down 3 lives, and they're going to get an extra 60 seconds to play with here.
Yeah, they have an extra 60, but now you just don't want to drop into vault and give carries a couple freebie one-on-ones. He already finds one off the exit. As soon as able to find the second, Craze is already on the opposite side of the map, and now you're down by 5 lives with a minute to work with. Basically, 2 more good pushes upon you, and just can't be that team the first drop.
No. 12v7. Standy's 13 and 22. Linz is 9 and 18. You want to talk about the SMGs just not finding anything? That says it right there. Meanwhile, on the other side, Exceed's popping off. Mercury's trying to follow on this same pinch angle. 1v1 over the top. He's got help nearby and just dances with him until Prolook gets into the picture. It's just, they're so good at playing off of one another. And that is, again, someone who is 18 years old with someone who just joined the team. And they're still playing it like they've been playing together for years.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how good this roster is currently looking because they are seemingly unstoppable. Like, that's GG.
Bro.
Already up 3-0. Keep in mind, guys, we started the NA side at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's already 8 o'clock. We went through our first series of losers finals. That was 3-0. Now we're in our grand finals. It's already 3-0, and it's only been 2 hours. Like, it's just belt to ass today, Alan. I don't know what the hell is going on, but Brooklyn are destroying Omit. Simple as that.
I don't know, Jay. Maybe this is just like the recency bias. I've got this Omit Brooklyn team beating Vegas, LAG, Minnesota, Cloud9, Boston Breach.
Whoa. Let's not get over it now.
Dude.
It's different between Challengers players and it's different between Pro play. And that new Vegas lineup, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could win some hard points. They got some guys who were just in Challengers. That's like a Challengers roster over there besides Fred.
I know,
like,
I'm telling
you. I don't know. LAG, though, good shout. That might be a good shout. You know,
Minnesota?
They've been struggling. Yeah. Nah, Minnesota, I like Kenny way too much. I think that team with, like, Estriel, the way that Nero and Gio have been playing, and then Kenny just needs to get more familiar with that squad because they went Game 5 every single series. I don't think, like, versus Challengers teams, they're going to have as consistent of a respawn like pro squads.
Boston?
Like Boston. I like their teamwork. They showed up to the event. They beat the hell out of LA Thieves. When they are on, they are on. They just got to figure out their control.
Maybe a bit of an overreaction because we are also online right now. Keep in mind, but
Yeah.
Still,
Comfort of the chairs, challenging players, you know. They haven't really felt the brightest lights on that main stage. Some of them have, and some of them have crumbled in those moments, but that's fair. At least for now, like, they're cruising through challenges.
Wow. I don't know, dude. It's the action speaks louder than the words can. I think that's the biggest part about this right now. This, I don't know. Crazy scenes. That's all I got.
Hey, Valhart points next, Alan.
All right, cool.
Valhart points next. I don't think I've ever seen a best of 7 like this lopsided in quite some time. I know we were blessed last season. When you remember they were at a LAN event, we had to cast that online. It was 0-4 in Gunless' squad that went down 0-3 in the series and then had the most insane reverse sweep. Ended it on the Rio Search and Destroy. So it's still possible. It's just that they have not shown me anything for me to believe that they're going to stand a chance even in this next match. Like,
No.
you gotta
No.
do something.
They haven't shot back, Jay. Like, we can't even begin to talk about, like, oh, like, if you just didn't make that one mistake on rotation, then you might win the map. Like, they're getting beat everywhere, dude. They're getting beaten everywhere. This is the most dominant grand finals that we may have ever had in Challengers at the moment. Like, we're talking 100-point club, blanked in the search, blanked in the control. It's grand finals. These are supposed to be the 2 best teams in Challengers in North America right now. And it's probably, one of those things that, like, a team like Team War and Luxury Exotics are probably looking at this like, damn it, why did we not get this Omit team on our side of the bracket? Like,
these guys are going dumb hard versus us. Like, Standy was unkillable. Now he looks like he's an easy trade. It's got to be so tough for those teams that fell to the arms of Omit, at least yesterday. And also if you're the Spartans today. But if you're the Spartans, like, it is what it is. Like, you just got ran these last 2 days. But at the other squads, though, you're like, all right, we gave these guys a run for their money. And if we made a couple adjustments, we could have found ourselves potentially in this situation. But I wouldn't want to be in this situation even if you were here. Down 0-3 versus this Omit Brooklyn squad who don't give them 100 points in hardpoint, don't give them a round in control, and don't give them a single round in search and destroy. Like, let's just get up out of here, Alan. I think this is what might be done with.
I'm saying, brother. We'll see. We're going to take a quick break, though, while the teams get ready for map number 4. We'll be back. Don't go very far. We might not be here for very much longer. See you soon. Welcome to the domination station. 3-0 are up right now. Are the Omit Brooklyn champions? We'll call it that. At the moment, they're looking like it. Vault Hardpoint coming up from map number 4. And Omit Brooklyn. Again, the question at the beginning of this broadcast is: would they be able to do the unthinkable? The organization being able to win 3 and every single one of the elites on the year with 3 very different rosters. And the opening looks pretty good as they're able to get a couple from Craze and get on some early time at P1.
That's a good start there from Brooklyn, but now Omit have the reinforcements and the numbers to fight their way back on through. Effective trades on from Linz, but now you make it a one-on-one. It's still a mixy fight. Exceed now back into play. Give me number 2, and Brooklyn are right back in, and they haven't been able to flip the spawn. So that's the massive part, is that Brooklyn aren't getting too aggressive over towards line, keeping everything in front of them.
Yep. Hercules now into the hard point, trying to finish off this last 13 seconds, not losing gunfights. And now Craze stuns, pushes up, denied by Standy, but Mercury's off the regen, has now 2 weapons to work with. It's a little bit more fodder contributed to the fight, but not much else behind that, as Exceed now has to worry about this pressure starting to amount forward. And a good moment here for Omit, as the only one really left to contest this is Craze, and he does get Pro spawn with him and Exceed as well, so maybe a chance to still fight this.
Yeah, now Omit are trapped. Like, you're not expecting to have pressure on both sides. Mercury's the entire time. The only player who spawned out has an angle from the front. So the pinch is beautiful with Craze just playing his life towards the backside, allows those swans to come in for his teammates. And now Omit are all the way across the map, trying to break through the front. Brack trying to contest it. He gets cut down. 30 seconds still to fight for. You can't give up this time. You got to get in.
It's just one of those things, like another kind of astonishing fact about this Omit Brooklyn team is how they're able to create something out of nothing. Like, even in that moment right there, didn't look that they had any business even getting back to the hard point, and they still do for about 10-15 seconds of mid-hard point time. But now, with spawns starting to look more like a trap, Omit Brooklyn going to start working on routes, but not before sending a couple members to play for the exit. And again, it's just every single level of what they do is so well calculated, so well thought out, and they're always fighting the war on 2 fronts and looking pretty good at it.
Yeah, and now exceeding the power position. Craze here to assist them. You want to make sure you're holding down to this hard control while your teammates are applying the pressure through the middle of the map. You've already been able to lose at least 1 player. Standy trying to make a big time play over towards the yard side. Is going to get sniffed out and not get anything for the route. And now Brooklyn have control of the spawn, have control of the map, and now they're soaking up time here at P3.
Next play for Omit, trying to develop through the middle. Opportunity for a pinch from Standy, not initially being watched, but dealt with as Mercules will find the trade plus another. And Spart, why?
Oh, man!
Why are we even bothering trying to chow that when 2 teammates have already fallen cleanly? You'll never know. Follow up still, looking decent as Mercules continues to pump damage down B Street, but spawns are up, and with 10 seconds remaining, Omit Brooklyn know they need to put themselves in a spot to deal with this play that's inevitably coming from the front.
Yeah, you're not reading this. Like, there's no way you're going to check this corner, working in towards bottom art. So Craze starts off the gunfight, Succeed there for the trade. Your window rotation over towards the money hill. Currently no one in it, but you're more focused on accounting for everyone, not allowing anyone to slip on by. Now that leads to a clean 4 dead. Craze is pushed out towards the left side street. All your focus is on the side door, and they have everything cut off, but Spark finding a double gives them a chance.
Yep, from the front, they're going to find the break. Pro loot. No, nothing there. So, okay, this will work out. Omit making sure they've got spawns now going back into the hard point. And the read for Spart is that, yep, it's all coming along this long route on the extension. Brack there to also assist on this, but just as soon as you think it's a play towards Art, nope, it's a cut right back over to Lion. And we still have 20 seconds to fight for here. Kills are looking good for a bit. Brooklyn, Standy trying to hold on inside the hard point, but overwhelmed. And that's just another one of those calls that Spart says, help, I got 3 players pushing me. And then all of a sudden, nope, they hit their different route, cut in through the cross, and they're in for the scrap.
And the biggest thing about that situation is that Brooklyn don't allow them to get a trade there. Like, if you get a trade, you keep your teammates spawning on the backside of Art. But since they just value their life so well, once they found that opening kill, they also find the second. They just stayed in their positions until those 2 guys came off spawn. Because at that point, there's only 2 guys on this side of the map left for Omit. We can isolate them and trade it out to soak up that final 15 to 20 seconds. Perfectly played again from Brooklyn. Back over to the P1 we go. Exceed, timing this pinch perfectly, but Craze steals the shine as he walks right through the front to steal away 2.
No, there's no such thing as stealing the spotlight when all 4 players are shining like this. I mean, it's just, again, we're just throwing words on this from what it looks like, what it feels like. But it just feels so selfless for Omit Brooklyn. Not something you often see in the challenger space. Usually, a lot of the teams that find potency in the space are ones that just have 4 incredibly individual talent, and sometimes they run through teams. This is different, though. This is all 4 members buying in, drinking the Kool-Aid, no matter what color it is that we talked about from earlier.
Yeah.
And just dominating.
It's crazy that, like, it truly is about the system that Brooklyn have been able to develop here. I'm pretty sure in our last Elite, when Brooklyn were playing against whoever the hell it was, I'm pretty sure it was the Spartans, they only won 1 map. Mighty got 4-0. The one previous of Elite Stage 1, they only lost one map in that grand final. So it's like when they put themselves in this position, they make the most of it, and they see now taking over with the SMG. Another double kill leads to the break here at P2. So 30 seconds to fight for an Omit, just continuously playing catch up. You are never in the play when you initially need to be.
No, never. 23 seconds remaining. A team nade comes out, so there may be still a chance for Prolud and Craze to team work out some of the scratch time. And actually, because of that team nade, Omit actually don't get any time on that mid-hill break. Brack denied over through palms, and you can see that Omit are giving up on this hard point to set up for new. But chasing shadows and chasing dots right now are Omit Brooklyn on their rotation, trying to get over to 3 as fast as humanly possible as the game gets to an 80-point affair.
Yeah, this is the only way they get themselves back into this game. Like, it needs to be some good time soaked up at P3, a lot of kills starting to go your way, and you have a flawless hold at the Money Hill in P4. It all starts by just playing keep away. Craze through double doors, effective onto Standy. Brack trying to fill the gap, standing on the pillars to soak up time here. Almost lines up a double. If you're Brooklyn, you're just playing keep away. You already have a player on the pinch. He does get shut down, but I'm more than happy to just soak up time.
Good for Standy, or Sparty rather. Able to find himself too. Lynn's behind over towards Street, and this is another one of those moments. Dude, that's a 4v2. And Brooklyn still come away with 2 kills and get the hard point time. It's just, how does that happen? Like, I don't, it's just, that is one that just baffles. Crazy's gonna shut down the pinch. Yeah. 12 seconds remain here, and Omit, down about 100 points, are gonna have to get a full 60 on this next P4. This game is just over.
Yeah, I think they got like 15 seconds there off of P3, so now you're down by 100. Banking on the flawless setup here at the Money Hill. It's all about the first kill. 20 HP in the Dream Spark. You don't have the Ego and Child. Thankfully, Standy's able to make up for it, but he's traded out. Linz now jumps into the play. He's at 9 HP. Gonna go back for the Ego, Chow, and at least Omit for now. Able to stabilize on the first push.
Look at the focus for Omit. All of it going over towards the distraction that Prolud has created, and Exceed's already at the front door. Okay. Shut down by Brack. That's helpful. Prolud along the back, not able to win, even though the spawns had moved. Craze had to fight from inside the hard point, and he doesn't have much besides just the AR and nade to come through. He's able to find one plus the damage onto another, but Omit will hold on, and it looks like Brooklyn may chalk this back 20, especially with that follow-up kill from Linz.
Yeah, they're just going to give this up. Great hold there for a moment, sort of get themselves back into the game. The AR starting to click a little bit on their easy kills on the crosses. But this is where Omit don't truly make mistakes, which is around that P1. They don't like to flip these spawns. They account for everyone. Try to not allow anyone to slip behind enemy lines. But that spawn coming in from Exceed, everyone should be on their toes because someone's definitely behind you. So far, Omit found every single kill through the middle of the map. All
right, here's a spark for Omit. 4-man feed. They're trying to predict the spawns. They've guessed incorrectly on it for now, but the realization will come through. Especially now that the pitch has started to develop, but it may have came through a little bit too late. Omit Brooklyn find the first 3 kills. Make it all 4. That is one of the moments, though, I will say, like, as much as Omit Brooklyn have dominated, that's a moment where that's not on Omit Brooklyn. That's just on Omit not reading spawns correctly.
Yep, not reading spawns correctly and not watching the proper angle. It's only allowing one player to sit in towards that hard point. He just gets overwhelmed, and then everyone drops around him. But thankfully, they're able to stabilize. After that, kills go their way. Still 20 seconds here at P1. You're in control of the spawns for now. Linz with a big one-on-one is going to get double chow, but now you got Spark filling in that gap to just simply watch the cross. Loses the one-on-one, so Mercules is here to contest off the rotation, but it's only him.
Yeah, but trying to kill noise, trying to kill some time. Finds himself an elimination, predicts the backdoor play while his teammates clean up the front. Mercules off the regen. Nade, it looked like, actually landed on the Brack of the back door. So now you've got help immediately at the front side of this hard point for Omit Brooklyn. Exceed, route, denied, and that's going to be 3 straight kills. That'll be Mercules by himself, and there's nothing he can do from inside the hot tub. Omit get a break, but again, lots of work to be done here.
Yeah, but this is a good time to get yourself back to this game. Good 40. You already have players getting aggressive up through Cat and through Palms, and the kills are starting to go your way. Now this flank from Craze has to be minimized, and thankfully he's not able to find that opening kill, so Omit's starting to show a little fight here. 40-point difference. It'd be great if you could walk away with this final 20, but they just get overwhelmed, and Brooklyn still walk away with this final 15.
They can't peek anything, Jay. Like, legitimately, like, if you were just to take a screenshot before that break starts to come through, both ARs are watching the long angles. It allows the SMGs to keep all of their focus on what's happening inside the hill. Nades and stuns are landing, and then as soon as you know that your outside lanes are locked, the SMGs run in, and Omit cannot challenge it. They cannot peek. It's just unbelievable in terms of how you set up a break. And again, minimize and mitigate the time that Omit can find after what looked to be a pretty solid setup. See what we get here. 219 to 177. T3 open and currently uncontested or unowned by anybody.
Yeah, your job, though, if you're Brooklyn, is just play keep away. Don't allow them to get to 190. They have the power spots for Art, but now Craze is here to contest them. Kills also going your way, and now Spawn's starting to flip. You get some assistance there from Pro Loot. You still know there's one player sitting in towards top bar, but you can still win it here. So this player in Art needs to make a big play and make it quick because the flank is already there, and now Spawn's flip.
Yeah, Spark just, again, has no ability to peek. He's trying to play incognito and try to set up timing where he can peek with his teammates hitting from the front. Doesn't work out in Pro Loot. An impressive double from the side door, almost able to find the third with the pistol, but the damage is followed up by Craze. 33 and 29, top KD leader, at least based on his team. Danny's trying to hang at 33 and 26 at the same front, but again, P4 is open. Omit, Brooklyn are there, and they just need 10 more seconds to put this thing to bed. And Spart, if he gets in, maybe there's a chance, but no, that's going to be it. No way he hits from the back door. Linz does get 2 from the front, but will not be able to touch. And the three-peat is secured. Omit, Brooklyn, doesn't matter what names are on the page. They're going to win, and they proved that they can do that all year long.
Congratulations to Brooklyn, man, because that is just a brutal beatdown. It doesn't get any better than that. Everything that you have worked on in the last 4 days, ever since Pro Loot has entered the lineup, has worked out to perfection. You're probably not even getting S&D reps. You're just more focused on, we're going to be pretty good at respawns. We stand a pretty good chance at winning. But then when you're walking away with Search and Destroys with clean 6 hoes, you're winning basically every power rotation towards all the money hills. Control was a smoke show. From start to finish of the series, it was a slammage. Like, shout out to Brooklyn, because they truly do deserve it. As an organization, 3 in a row in the Elite. I don't think that's ever been done before.
I don't think
as
so.
for Craze, as a player, 3 in a row in the Elite. I don't think that that's ever been done before, because after you win 1 or 2, you're thinking, all right, I should get the call into the big leagues. But now I mean, everybody's going to have their eyes on this kid, because he just had a phenomenal Elite stage from the beginning, with rosters that were in and out. Like, he's never had the same lineup for more than 2 months, and he's consistently making it work, man. So big shout out to my son in Call of Duty and Young Craze on winning this again for Omit Brooklyn, and also the rest of the Omit Brooklyn squad, because see, like I said earlier, he was gonna quit, and now he's a champion. Pro Loot didn't even make the Elite, and now he's a champion. And Mercury's in his first season competing officially in the Elite, is able to host a trophy in the final Elite of the season. That is unbelievable from Omit Brooklyn, as they were just the best team without question.
Yeah, just to kind of give you the history. Stage 1, it was Neptune, Fellow, Lunars, and Craze. Stage 2, it was Fellow, Caps, Rex, and Craze. And the crazy thing about it is you build another new roster. Capsule was available. They didn't want to play with them after the Dallas Open, and instead you get a roster here that you're going to see, obviously see it on paper. Pro Loot, Exceed, Mercules, and Craze. The only thing now missing in the Infinity Stone gauntlet here for Omit Brooklyn is finding open championships. Again, the Dallas Open was a stunningly poor finish, only finishing top 12. Did not expect that at all. I don't think anyone would have. But this roster has done what they needed to do when it comes to playing online. The next step, and the only step from here, is to show up and make it happen in person, because as much as the 3 wins on Elite are impressive, the big goal is to find a way to not just secure an open championship, but to put yourself into the EWC and really shock the world by having an opportunity to play up against the CDL teams and maybe beat them there too.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Like, for people who don't potentially get the call up to the big leagues this season, your chances at EWC to play against all the pros, to give yourself a true test of what you are as a player, that is where you want to be. So for all these challenger players who obviously didn't have as much success as Omit Brooklyn through these elites, you're probably having a lot more success on land. But even if you're not, just do everything that you possibly can, because this is your chance to make it into the pros. Make it to EWC, compete against them, give them a run for their money, and then you potentially have your best opportunity at starting off the next season in the Pro League.